Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. This video is going to be a little bit different because I might be going through a cyclone. Now, I live near Brisbane, like an hour out of Brisbane, but we have had reports or an expected cyclone on the way for the past couple days. I think it's been very slow moving because we've been hearing about it for maybe the past 5 days, that it's coming, and it's still not here yet. It is Saturday morning when I'm filming this and we've already lost power. The weather isn't too bad yet, but we lost power and there's a creek behind my house that's starting to take on a bit of water. I think at the moment, from what I could see online, the cyclone hasn't fully arrived yet, but last night it was very windy. We've already gotten a lot of rain, and I guess this is just the outskirts. For a long time they were saying it was category 2, and I think it's been downgraded to category 1. I feel like I've seen a lot of conflicting information online on whether it's being downgraded or whether it's still happening, and now I actually don't have internet. So obviously I lost Wi-Fi, but the internet on my phone isn't really working. I can get some signal, but it's only if I stand in a really high place. I've literally been standing holding my phone up near the fan or putting my phone on top of the bookshelf, like a tall bookshelf, to try and get some internet. I don't know how it works, but I can actually text and call just fine. It seems to be just the internet that's not working, which is very weird. So today is going to be interesting, but I just thought I'd bring you along with me. We have done what we can to prepare. We have water that we've bottled up. We have food, filled the bathtub for like washing sort of water in case we lose water as well. Obviously we don't know about that yet, but we still have water. It'd be very interesting to see what happens today, since I think the cyclone has just come across the coastline and it's nearly here apparently. With my phone in a high place, I've been able to download some albums on Spotify, so I have stuff to listen to, but I still seemingly can't load a web page very reliably and can't get news or anything on YouTube. So I'll see how I go trying to load up more information. I have a couple things to keep myself occupied today without power. I've got a bit of tidying in my room I can do, quite a few books, and I've also got some crafty things that I've set aside. So hopefully I don't get too bored. I obviously wish I had internet and power, but I think the main thing is we just want to make sure the house is okay throughout all of this. Hopefully it doesn't get too bad. There are some big trees around, but I don't think any of them would strike the house if they fell, since they're a bit far back. But all we can do is hope everything's okay. I feel really scatterbrained right now, and I don't know if most of what I'm saying is making sense, but I just wanted to check in this morning before I get on a little bit more with the day. I've had a little bit of breakfast, and we've also played with the dogs in the garage, since we do have 2 dogs, 2 Kelpies, and they've got a lot of energy, and I don't want them to suffer too much during this if we can help it. So since the rain wasn't too bad this morning, we just took them out to run around in the garage for a bit. But if the weather gets worse, we definitely won't be doing that. Anyway, I think that is all of the updates I have for now, so I'm just going to go and see if my music is downloaded and find something else to do. I thought I'd show you outside. So we've got this beautiful bushland behind our house, and there's a little creek back there. Sometimes it's even dry, but whenever we have rain, I don't know if you'll be able to see, it looks like a little river right in the middle of the screen there. That's all water back there, and sometimes, I think the worst time it's rained, we've had water come up to the fence line, and flood maps did say they think, well, it looks like there might be flooding in the yard. So we didn't have sandbags, but we tried to secure our garage a little bit. I don't know if this will even work or if it'll all just blow away. Again, hopefully we don't need it, but we've just got pool noodles held down by bricks. I guess it's less to help with water coming up, and more so because the garage is slightly downhill from the driveway. Sometimes water overflows over that little grate if the rain is really heavy, so hopefully that'll help some, since we've got a few things in there. But I think the house will be okay since we're somewhat elevated. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you that. We've also got quite a big branch that came down overnight. Again, the storm didn't actually hit, it was just winds that we've had. It was really noisy last night and quite a bit of wind, but so far not too bad today. Not much in the way of rain or wind, but I think it hasn't actually fully hit us yet, so I guess we just have to wait and see. This is the setup for internet at the moment. I am trying to download a bit of music on my phone through Spotify. That's taking forever, but in a high place it is loading a little bit. And I'm trying to refresh my Kindle to download, or I don't know, download all the books on Kindle. They're in the app. I set up heaps of books yesterday, but I didn't even think, so they're not properly, yeah, it's not connecting. I'm trying to hotspot, so really should have thought this through, but I didn't think I'd lose internet access to my phone. I knew there'd be no Wi-Fi, but internet access to the phone is a surprise. I do have heaps of books already downloaded from like the past on my Kindle that I haven't read yet. I've got a big collection, so I'll find something, but it's a bit annoying since I got some new ones I was really excited to read. But if that's my biggest problem today, it's obviously not a big deal. Also, I feel like I've got to address as well, I feel so frantic. I just sculled an energy drink when I was playing with the dogs, and I feel like I'm talking a mile a minute. But that's what's happening. Once I get a book ready to go on my Kindle, whether that's picking a new one or hopefully continuing with what I had before, I will check in and show you what I'm reading, because I think I'll be doing a lot of that over the next few days. Also, I wanted to show you something kind of funny. Yeah, Brendan's using the Kindle arm to read a paperback book. He has the iPad to read on as well, but is using the Kindle arm to hold it up and one of my hair clips to hold the book open. So that's what he's doing. This is what's happening, trying to update the Kindle through hotspotting. It is very slow, but it is working. Here's how I look when I'm doing it though. It's all the way up there. So if I do this too long, I know I'm gonna hurt my neck. So I'm just gonna let that download and walk away. But this does make me feel a little bit better knowing that I've got the books I'm more excited to read versus old ones that have been sitting around and waiting for a reason, I feel. Ooh, I'm not kidding. Yeah, that's not very comfortable. I feel like a lot of people have shared it, but there's that clip of Kath and Kim. Kath walking around the house just waiting, where I think she wasn't working or something. There was some joke behind it of her having a boring day and being really productive at home, but she's just sort of pacing around and peeling stickers off the fruit. That's what it feels like. I do feel a little bit bored and like I don't know what to do with myself without internet. So I can't even imagine what it would be like for someone who is younger and definitely always relied on it. I haven't had it my whole life, but certainly all of my teenage years and adult life, I have, you know, had a phone, had things right there and then when I want them. So waiting and just sort of having my own time seems very scary, hence getting the books prepared. It's just a little bit of a waiting game, much like waiting for the storm. I think I heard it was meant to pass around 10 and I think it's nearly 10 o'clock now. Oh. I must have reception. Alright, I've given up on trying to get other books for now, just because it's taking way too long. But I do have the book that I was reading yesterday, and it is nearly done. I'm at 77%. I don't know why I opened it. I should have kept it locked so you can see the cover. This is one that I got on NetGalley. This Book Will Bury Me by Ashley Winstead, and I was really excited to get this one approved since I was really looking forward to it. I haven't read anything from her before, but reading the description, it looked really good, and it was also a pretty hyped up book, I feel. I think it comes out in a couple weeks, but like I said, I'm glad to get it early, and I've been enjoying it so far. I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of about a group of people that are trying to solve a crime, and they solve a few crimes actually, but it's just a good mystery, light thriller if you will. It doesn't seem super twisty yet. I don't know what is going to happen, but I feel like there's some sort of big answer that needs to be resolved for the book. But yeah, this is definitely one of those times where I'm glad to have a good book come through NetGalley, especially at a time like this. I don't know if I think I said I'm at 77%, but I started it yesterday, so I'm going through pretty quick. I have a quarter left, so I guess I'll just finish this up and then maybe have lunch. Alright, I'm just about to have lunch and I've got a little wrap. It's got some shredded tofu in there that I made the other day and salad, someone's coming over to check it out. But yeah, that's lunch. It's fine to eat cold, obviously, and there's a fair bit more left over, so I don't think we'll need to do too much cooking. Although, depending on how I feel this afternoon, maybe I will cook for coming days, just to fill the time. Alright, it's after lunch now, and I'm going to do some more reading. Apparently I've got an hour and a half left of my book, so I do want to finish it in this next little chunk of time that I'm reading now. And the weather hasn't gotten any worse. If anything, I think that was Brennan outside. That was just a loud noise. Anyway, apparently I've got an hour and a half left of the book, so I might just sit down and finish up. I'm glad that I got it early for review, but I would have bought this one anyway, so to get it early and also for free, I feel so lucky. I hope the ending is as good as what I've thought so far, but like I said, I'm really enjoying it, so I guess I'm just going to finish this up. Alright, I am finished reading my book, and I've got to say, I really enjoyed this. I don't know where I land for rating it, if it's 4 or 5, maybe let's say 4.5, but I really loved it. I read it pretty quickly, and I do think I want to pick up other books by this author, Ashley Winstead. I don't think I have any of the others on my Kindle, but when I have power and internet again, I will definitely get them, since I enjoyed this one so much. The only frustrating thing is I can't find any reviews right now, obviously without internet. I feel like there'd be some reviews out early from other people who had copies, but that's normally my favorite sort of thing to do when I finish reading something. Just hear other people's opinions, see if what I came away with was the same as others, or like sometimes I read reviews on Goodreads after I finish. I don't normally do it at first since I try to steer clear of spoilers for anything. But yeah, overall I really enjoyed it, and I would recommend when it comes out. Again, I think it comes out towards the end of the month, like the 25th or something, but that was a good one. So now I think I might take a little bit of a break and do something different for a little bit, and probably read a little bit more later. I've just got to find something to read. I'm tossing up between 2 different books, but like I said, I will find something different to do now. Now for something totally different to what's going on outside in the world today, Hello Kitty Island Adventure. And it's springtime, it's so cute there. Alright, I'm going to call it quits and play my game now, as I've been playing for about 30 minutes and I do want to reserve the battery. I also just opened up a new area in the game, which is so cute, just an extra region I guess, and what's it called, Merry Meadows or something. It looks gorgeous and very different to what everything looks like outside right now. The wind and rain have actually picked up a bit, which is frustrating because I was hoping I could walk the dogs. Maybe I still will, but it's looking pretty bad out there at the moment. Anyway, I'm going to pack away the Switch and see if I can get any internet by being up near the ceiling, and see if there's any updates about the weather or just any updates from anyone else. Alright, we're all about to go into the garage to play with the dogs, to let them expend some energy. I think that's probably the safer thing rather than walking around town, especially since it's gotten a little bit worse this afternoon. Not as bad as last night, but really windy, and I guess the rain's not as bad, but yeah, the wind, I could hear some of those trees creaking, which was very creepy, but let's go play. Guess what, everyone? We've got power. I'm just going to turn that off since it's still bright enough. When we were playing outside with the dogs before, the lights came on in the garage, and that was about 30 minutes ago. So since then, we've come inside and have put everything on charge also made myself a little hot chocolate. This is something I've wanted all day, so it's obviously really nice to have now. I'm charging everything up just because we don't know if we're going to lose power again. It's strange. It's almost more windy now. Like there's gusts of winds that seem more, I guess, windy than anything else we've had today. So I don't know why, but we do have power and we're just going to be careful in case we lose power again. I checked the weather as well, and apparently there's meant to be a fair bit of storming tonight. It obviously might not happen, but I saw, you know, thunderstorms, lightning storms, which definitely always makes us lose power. It's something about this house. I feel like we tend to lose it at the drop of a hat, but very happy and grateful that everything is good. So far, so good. There's no damage to the house. And yeah, it almost feels like the storm that we've had last night and today is probably pretty close to times we've had heavy rain. I think the wind last night was more than anything else we've had, but there's definitely been periods in the past where we've had rain for like days on end and have had more flooding, but I think that might continue. When I have a look online, it looks like it's meant to be raining for at least the next 7 days, so I guess we just have to wait and see. Anyway, I'm just gonna have my drink and sit for a bit, and I think to be on the safe side we might get dinner started early and also have showers and things while the sun is still up and while we have power, just in case. Alright, so I've got dinner going. I just put the shredded tofu inside wraps with a little bit of mayonnaise and I'm toasting these up. They're kind of small, but I think 4 should be good for both of us for dinner, and I'm just going to make some side salad. Alright, dinner's done. Even though it's the same filling as we've had in the wraps for a few days, because it's toasted up, it tastes different obviously to mix it up, and it is nice to have some hot food. Alright, I thought I'd check in about the weather, since I don't think I said, when we got power back before and I got internet access, I checked the forecast online and any updates, and apparently the cyclone was downgraded from category 2 to category 1, and then maybe this other thing, a tropical low or X cyclone, which sounds really weird, but that's what it is. And I've also seen very conflicting information online saying it's still just crossing the coast, so it's not really happening, but maybe there's going to be worse weather on the way. I'm not exactly sure, and I feel like everything online is confusing me when I check, but it's definitely windy and rainy. I'm glad that we had a hot dinner though and that everything is charged, but I just thought I'd share. The news is so conflicting at the moment, and everybody that I know that lives in different areas around Brisbane are all having such different experiences. But yeah, at least so far so good. It hasn't been too bad, but I don't exactly know how tonight's gonna go. Anyway, while we have internet, I think we'll just do our regular thing, finding something to watch and relax. Alright, it's the end of the night and we still have power. We ended up watching a movie, Dead Calm. It was on binge. It's a bit of an older movie, but it was interesting. It was just like a thriller, an Australian thriller. But now that that's done, I am just gonna get ready for bed and go to sleep, I think. It's nearly 10 and I am feeling pretty tired, even though I haven't done that much today. I think it's just been a busy couple of days getting the house ready, and I was still working. I don't know if I said that. I was working from home the past 2 days, like Friday and Thursday, and yeah, doing all of the prep work after work days. So maybe I am just tired for that reason, but I don't know if we're going to wake up to power tomorrow, since there is still a lot of wind and rain out there. At the very least, everything's charged up, and I don't think the weather has been as bad as I was expecting for us anyway. So for that I'm grateful. But like I said, I am going to sleep, so I'm just going to go to bed and maybe listen to some music as I drift off or something, since I'm a little bit anxious, not gonna lie, but I am tired as well. So hopefully I sleep through the night. I don't know how noisy it's gonna be, but like I said, I'm going to bed now and I will see you in the morning. Alright, it's Sunday morning. We've woken up to no power. It was very, very windy last night and quite a bit of rain. I actually couldn't sleep very much. I guess I didn't keep waking up. I woke up and just couldn't fall asleep for hours. So I am pretty tired. But we used the camping stove to cook breakfast. I've got a large bowl of oats with some protein powder and strawberries, so I'm just gonna eat that. I thought I'd show you outside. So we've already gotten rid of it, but I think a few of these happy plants have snapped and blown away. We found one of them on the deck and it's definitely looking a little bit more sparse. I think that's to be expected. These are really skinny sort of trees. But out the back, the water's coming up and you sort of see where it's all grey. That water has risen up quite a bit, and in the middle of the screen there, it looks like a tree's come down. I'm gonna have to look at what video I took yesterday, but I haven't gone out for a closer look. I see what looks like, I don't know if it's roots or just like a clump of branches, but that wasn't there yesterday. And I don't know if it happened last night or the night before, but there used to be a really tall, skinny tree where a lot of birds would perch, and I see the top of that is gone. I think the main part of the tree is there, but where it's very high up, it's cracked and fallen off somewhere. But that's how things are looking outside. Since the dogs are all sorted for the day, they've had a bit of a play in the garage. It's not the best and it would be nice to walk them, but it's better than nothing. And I've also spent a little bit of time using my phone to check in on everyone. I still don't have internet access, so I'm sending texts, like actual SMS off the iPhone, which I had to explain to my mum how to do as well, just because, yeah, it seems like a lot of us don't have internet access, but that's okay. I can still communicate with everyone. Now what I'm going to do is a little bit more reading, and I didn't mention what I've started reading since I picked up a new book in the middle of the night last night. And this was just when I couldn't sleep from the heavy rain. I started reading The Night of the Storm, which is actually a book about a hurricane. So I think that'll be kind of interesting. I've only read like 2 chapters so far, but it seems interesting. I've heard good things about it, and I guess pretty good ambience, like to match the story. Although I do think it's about a family that sort of stays in a house and maybe like a murder happens or something, or there's definite family drama. But it's just interesting to read about the weather type things in the book while it's happening to a lesser degree outside. Anyway, I'm just going to keep reading this and check in a little bit later. Alright, lunch is ready. So I've got some pan-fried potatoes and also some beans with capsicum just cooked up on the little camper stove inside. It seems to be working okay with ventilation. I know that apparently they're not meant to be used inside, but we're making it work considering the weather is so bad. So yeah, this smells pretty good, and I'm just going to eat this now. Definitely folklore weather. Alright, it looks a little bit brighter out there, but the sun is setting. So I've got some candles going. Since we had power last night, I didn't have to light any of these last night, but I'm gonna have a little candlelit shower. It's nice ambience. I just hope that we have some hot water left in the system. Alright, the shower wasn't too bad. I did end up using kind of lukewarm water to hopefully extend it out, and I just lit all the candles in the kitchen as well. And the sun hasn't fully set yet, but it's a little bit darker in real life. Still, we've got light for the rest of the night, unless power comes back on. But I thought I'd show you out the back really quickly before the sun sets. I don't know how clear you can see, or if you can even hear me, but the water has now come to the back fence line, almost. I see a bit of grass there, but yeah, there's pretty high water. I think it'll take still a bit to actually get into the yard and near the garage, but still, that is possibly the highest I've ever seen it. So we are definitely hoping that the rain slows down. The forecast seems to support that, but every, I feel, 6 hours the weather forecast seems to change. I don't know if it's accurate, but I almost wish that the storm was worse and quicker, if that makes sense, versus slow, prolonged, and just constantly hitting us with rain and medium level winds. I feel like maybe it would be less scary, perhaps more damaging, but like in terms of wind, if it was more severe, but I think this slow and long sustained rain is more stressful just because I don't know when it's going to stop. I don't know when we're going to get power back, and once we get it back, if we're going to lose it again. But still, again, I am super grateful that my house is okay, my loved ones are okay, and my dogs are okay. I think that's the big priority because I was really worried. If you're Australian, I feel like you'll probably know about the 1974 floods, and my parents have told me that is the last cyclone that directly hit Brisbane, and there are photos that I've seen of floodwaters up to roofs, and it just looks really scary. I didn't necessarily think it was going to get that bad by the category they were predicting, but in the back of my mind I kept wondering if we had flood levels that high, what we would do. Since we have 2 dogs, it just seemed so scary. So again, I want to stress, as much as I've complained here or there about no internet or, you know, no power, we've got food, we've got water, and everyone's okay. So I do want to make that very clear. But I know everyone's going through this a little bit differently. I think a lot of people I know have different circumstances right now around Brisbane, depending on what suburb they live in. Some people have been unaffected, and some people have been affected even worse than myself with their homes at risk. But yeah, I suppose it's a time to be grateful, and I have enjoyed in some ways the opportunity to really unwind and focus on reading and doing things that are a little bit more mindful over just using my phone. But yeah, it's also a time to be grateful for family and safety of our home. But I think that's enough happiness from me. I might start dinner now. So water's coming in pretty fast. We've just taken all the white goods up off the ground and mounted them on bricks in the garage. But yeah, water's coming in the yard. I literally saw a snake swimming in the water before. Yeah, at least we've done all we can. A very different version of a candlelit dinner. I've got buttered bread and soup. It smells really good. I'm just gonna dig in.
It wasn't awesome.
Alright, it's currently Monday morning. I didn't say goodnight last night since I was so tired from my shitty sleep the night prior, so I fell asleep on the couch and just conked out right away. But I still had broken sleep last night. I think even though I was really tired, I think I was just really stressed. So I am feeling tired again. Here's hoping that means a good night's sleep tonight. But I am dressed and ready. I might put on a little bit of makeup in the car, but I am going to go to work. We still have no power here, so part of the reasoning why I want to go is so we have some electricity to charge things, but I want to get back to normal. Today the wind is really non-existent, it's just rain, but luckily the rain didn't continue to flood the yard, so I think we're in the all clear. But I just wanted to check in this morning before I go. I saw some like big trees hanging on power lines on the dog walk this morning. Since it was sprinkling, I managed to get out and walk the dogs, but I saw, I think, the cause of our lack of electricity, so I don't know when they'll fix that. It obviously looks pretty bad, but I think similar situations for everyone everywhere right now. But like I said, I will be wrapping it up here since I've got to get out the door to work. So I know this was a bit of a different video, but if you're watching at this point, I do hope you enjoyed it in some way or found it interesting, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!